What's up, guys? We're back for another Marvel Legends review, taking a look at a figure from that Kingpin wave, probably my least anticipated. Well, the 6-arm Spider-Man is one I'm not even buying, so I guess he counts, but as far as the ones I'm buying, this is definitely at the bottom of the barrel. So today we're taking a look at the new, and certainly not improved, Black Cat figure. We've got her here in our standard Marvel Legends packaging. You can see her there in the window. We've got Spider-Man logo down on the bottom. We have got some artwork on the side, and then the back has product shots, lineup, Build-A-Figure, bio, the whole deal. So let's pull her out and take a look. And here she is out of the package, and whoo boy, this is not a good action figure. I am very much not a fan of just about everything that is going on with this figure, from the overall look to the just general design of her costume, and then of course there is some weird design choices that Hasbro made with this particular figure. So let's just get right into it, take a look at Articulation, see how she moves around first. So at the head we can swivel up almost none, because the hair is, draping down to almost her butt, which is fine. So we know that that's going to hinder articulation. She can look down, she can look side to side, swivel a little bit. Arms go all the way up, swivel around. You can single joint hinge at the elbow, a little bit better than 90. There is a swivel there. We've got swivels and hinges at her wrist. This is a vertical hinge, so that's kind of nice at the very least. Upper diaphragm cut, so bend her all around, swivel around. Legs go out, kick forward, kick back, thigh cut, double jointed knees. There is not a boot cut there, and you can rock side to side and hinge forward and backward. So she's pretty standard. I don't really know what body this is. I want to say this is like the Legends Riders Black Widow body, maybe? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have that figure, but it sort of looks like that to me. Otherwise, it's pretty standard stuff for a Legends female. It's mobile enough, but we could always get more. Now, in regards to her overall look, I will say that I have no frame of reference, as is the case pretty much always when we're looking at newer looks for Marvel figures. I have no idea why she looks this way, what's changed, who in the world decided to put cat eyes on her breasts. That is just a ridiculous costume idea as far as I'm concerned. I've never been a huge Black Cat fan by any means, but the classic look is definitely the way to go. There is no doubt about it. I don't even have that figure. That tells you how little of a fan I am. I only got her because I needed this Build-A-Figure piece. So we have got a mostly all black figure here, and then of course she does have the cat eyes on her chest with a little silver kind of clasp there that reaches around with the fur. It's painted nicely enough. I don't know that its intended purpose is really being achieved. I would assume it's supposed to draw attention to the figure, but when I see this figure, what I look at first is the hair, because it's so different compared to the rest of the figure. So that, your mileage may vary on that. That's just kind of what I look at. We do, of course, have kind of the telltale Black Cat style fur that's around her wrists and her ankles, but this is black, and black on black, it just doesn't look right to me. It's okay, it achieves what they're doing, I'm sure, but I don't really think it works all that well. And then she's got this guy here. So this is, it's a belt, I assume, but her weapon is a whip. And the whip looks just like this. So, if someone knows, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the whip coiled around her waist and that then kind of runs down to her thigh, and it doesn't honestly hang on there too well, but I get the idea that they're going for. So does she have a holstered one, but also a freehand one that when she has both at the same time doesn't really make sense? Because it doesn't make sense to me, but then again, I don't know. So I'm just going off of what it looks like to me. So this kind of looks like her whip. I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to be. It hangs well enough at her waist. It's just this part, you might have to reshape it a bit, heat it up and play with it. I'm not going to go to that trouble, but you could possibly do that. The face on this figure, the head sculpt on this figure is definitely a problem in general. The hair is fine. I'm okay with it. I think it's, a nice stark white, which is what I think of. I think of a black bodysuit and very white hair and fur accents when I think of Black Cat. Going back to the classic style, the classic look. She's got her mask, which is painted well enough. I don't really have any issues there. Her eyes do look really far apart. I think just in general, her facial structure is kind of odd. She looks kind of boxy in certain ways, so that's definitely a problem. But the big deal, the big thing, and I still don't know why they decided to do this, she has sculpted teeth. and they just look so weird. Instead of just giving her a little splotch of white paint, if you're going to give her a smile, which frankly I don't want her to have a smile anyway, I'd much rather her be just stoic or maybe even slightly grimacing. She's a pretty fierce fighter, so I wouldn't really want to see her, you know, posing for her glamour shots or anything. So I think the facial expression that they gave her is really odd. The teeth is unsightly to begin with. I think it's a weird choice. Unnecessary sculpting dollars went to the teeth on this figure. And then her eyes, they definitely do look to be a little too far set. Definitely sort of bleeding out the sides of her head. So the head sculpt is unfortunately a loser as far as I'm concerned. And for accessories, she has the aforementioned whip, which I do think is kind of cool in its idea because it's, you know, like a silver, almost linked chain look, which I do like. I think it looks kind of cool, but it very much matches that belt thing, which I still think is her whip wrapped around her, which makes no sense because why would she do that? Does she carry two? Or am I just wrong? I don't really know. But the bigger problem here is kind of twofold. One, she doesn't hold it very well at all. She can really only hold it at the very end, and it's oddly shaped. And two, it's flat. Why is it like this? I just don't get it. Even if that's how it's supposed to be, I just plain don't like it. I think it's goofy. I think it's weird. It very much just looks like a whip that was flattened and then she started holding it just because she still had it or something. So it's an odd design. There is zero paint on it. It's just that kind of metallic-y silver plastic. So if that's what she's supposed to have and that's what it looks like in the comics, then great. Kudos to Hasbro. But either way, I don't think it's very good. It's not an engaging or even remotely dynamic or even nice looking piece. So at the end of the day, this is pretty much exactly the figure that I thought it was going to be. Boring, bland, uninteresting, and rife with problems, honestly. It just has odd design choices. Technically speaking, I'm sure it's fine from an articulation and build standpoint, but there's just a lot of questions I have. Why did they sculpt those teeth that way? Why did they sculpt them at all? Why are her eyes so far apart? Why does she have seemingly two whips wrapped around her and one to hold? And then why is her whip squished like that? That's not a Hasbro question. That is a Marvel question. Who designed that? Does it look like that? Should it look like that? It's just a goofy look. I don't like anything about the way this particular version of Black Cat looks. It's always got to be the classic one for me, but I just don't like a lot of the choices they made with this figure either. So that's going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Black Cat figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.